So, if you would please state your name, your age, where you're from, and what you do.
Hi, my name's Ramos. I'm from Lebanon, New Hampshire. I'm 21 years old and I'm currently a college student that plays basketball.
And not only that, what do you do when you work in the summer?
When I work in the summer, my family has a few restaurants, so I work there, but most
Well, let's get a
importantly,
plug in for those restaurants. Where are they?
China Station and Noodle Station.
There we
They're
go.
both Asian restaurants. One's tied with Italian. I'm half Italian, half Spanish, so I have a pretty diverse family. Um, Over the summer, I like to take time for myself and really just work on myself and better myself and make myself as healthy as I can be. And
Well, let me ask you a couple questions. So, the reason why I want to talk to you is I haven't seen you since last year before you went to school. I had the pleasure of training you some last year, and you had a pretty big goal. You had a knee injury, and you wanted to make the basketball team there at Linden State. And you had a pretty incredible year last year. Why don't you start with why you decided to start training, and then what happened after that?
okay, so let's see. Where do I start? I tore my ACL and my meniscus and strained my MCL, so I pretty much just blew out my whole knee, which wasn't too good. That happened my senior year of high school. I'm now a junior in college. I wasn't able to play my freshman year because of the knee injury, which I was able to understand, but my sophomore year, I just really didn't take a lot of matters into my hands. I just not really dwelled, but I just really didn't work as hard as I know I could have, even though I said I worked hard. I really didn't work hard. So I got really sick of, I didn't make the team, unfortunately. That really hurt me, and that just made me rebel back. And so I decided to come home over the summer. And I wanted to lose a lot of weight. I weighed a lot compared to what I weigh now.
Do you mind sharing?
Yeah, I used to weigh 233 pounds.
What do you weigh now?
And I now weigh 185, 187-ish.
You lost 50 pounds.
Yeah, I lost 50 pounds. That was pretty much all over, not just the summer, but me working hard from the end of the last semester, the half portion, and then throughout the summer. So.
Now, I remember when I met you, your knee was still bugging you, and that's partly why we started training. You were doing some rehab stuff, but it didn't feel good, and it wasn't getting any better. And then we started to do some corrective stuff. You got into my Epic class and started doing some other things. And so your goal was to make the basketball team. Did you reach your goal?
Yes, I did, and I did more than reach my goal. My goal was just to make the team and then go from there, but I made the team. I was a captain. I was a very big role player, and a lot of the girls and my coach looked up to me, so that was something really nice.
That was pretty awesome. Yeah, so, and that's exciting. I mean, when you have to work that hard, you're trying to cut weight, and you got a knee injury that's nagging and all that stuff to be able to pull that off. But your story actually gets way more complicated than that. What ended up happening last summer in the middle of all this?
Okay, so towards the beginning part of the summer, my father suffered a head injury. He went into a coma, pretty much died 3 times. They brought him back to life. He fought the coma. He was in the coma for about a month and a half, I believe. And he came out of it. He became half paralyzed. Thank God, thankfully his personality was still there. His memory was still there. So I'm very grateful for that. But it was really hard seeing him doing that and then waking up. I think the hardest part of my summer was waking up every morning, doing something for myself, which was coming here, working out, getting as good and as healthy as I could get and be satisfied with myself because I wasn't at the time, to driving down to Boston to see him every weekend. So that was pretty hard.
Now, you mentioned something in there, but I want to add a little bit of detail. You said he died and came back 3 times. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Were there some people maybe helping out in that whole process? What happened there? I think I remember some people praying for your dad.
Yeah, so the first time when he got hit or whatever happened, he kind of aspirated his lungs and he just kind of went away. Someone gave him CPR, brought him back to life. Another time, it's like all my time is meshed together.
Well, can I share what I remember? We reached out to people at your church, Wellspring, and then we also reached out to Janice from Riverbank, who's a prayer warrior. They all started praying for your dad. The doctor said he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah, that's true. The doctors did say he wasn't going to make it. My family and I had to go down there and really make a decision on whether to just let him go or to keep the machines helping him fight.
And what happened?
I actually, when we reached out, someone came down to Boston with me and we just prayed over my dad and just prayed a lot. And he came out of it.
And he came out of it
with a personality, remembering not everything, but pretty much.
You got to enjoy your dad again. Yeah.
Exactly. So.
And how long did you get to enjoy him for?
He just recently passed away a month ago, so 9 months.
So you got to enjoy 9 more months.
Yeah.
So all that, and you still managed to go to school, and you still managed to live out your dream, right? Playing basketball. And I do really appreciate you sharing this. This is a really cool story. Now, I do want to ask this one other thing, because you said something that really touched my heart. And that is, this was one of the hardest times you've ever had. But
for sure.
What happened in your relationship with God?
I get emotional with this. I went through a lot. I'm such a spiritual person that I just kept praying, but I realized I was just praying to pray, just praying for wanting something. I wanted my dad, and I figured out that that's not how it goes. You pray for being thankful. You pray for the stuff that God's going to do, the stuff that He already did, and that the stuff that He's working on. And so I don't really know what switched me. I think it honestly was meeting you. I just switched my mentality and I just became way more faithful, and I started to pray every day, all the time, every day like I do now. I started to end my prayers with, every time I pray, I say, thank you God for all that you've done, all that you're going to do, and all that you're already working on. I couldn't be more thankful. And so I just think my relationship with God has gotten a lot more. My faith has risen extremely. I can leap out and have full faith. I'm really working on my faith, trying to fully be there, fully give it.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm almost there.
That's awesome. Well, and in spite of all that tragedy, right? And I'm just totally impressed with everything that I've seen, because I remember you were kind of a hot mess when all that was going on, and I've seen a huge transformation in you.
Yeah, I had an attitude problem.
And I do praise God for all that. But what would you say to anybody else out there who's watching this video and they're struggling and their situation seems just dark and hopeless? What would you say to them?
God is good. I go by Matthew 19:26. With man, this is impossible. With God, all things are possible. I saw that quote, I'm pretty sure over the summer, and it's just really stuck with me. God is always with you. Even in your darkest moments, my darkest moments, I felt so alone, but then I realized that those little things I was asking for, those little moments that I was just grateful for Him. I didn't even pray for anything. I just prayed to Him to thank Him. That it just really develops your relationship, and your relationship with God is not going to go down. It's just always going to get bigger and bigger and better and better, and that there's no limit. It's just going to go forever, and God is just so good that...
And it doesn't matter what your situation is, right? You
Exactly.
can ask Him. He's not going to hold stuff against you. He's not going to look down on you. If you're broken and hurting, it doesn't matter who you are. You can ask, and He's good to answer those prayers.
That is very true. I've been through a lot of different situations in my life, and I've learned it. It's growing up too. Part of growing up, realizing things. When I was younger, I probably didn't really realize as much. I wasn't as spiritual as I am now. But as I get older and as I work on my relationship with God, my spirituality increases more and more, and my relationship and my confidence and my like warmth feeling. Like
Yeah. You're starting to love more.
I just feel God's love every day, all
There
day.
you go. All right. So you got some more goals this year. What are those? You mind sharing?
Yeah. I wasn't too satisfied with this past basketball season because I'm always a person that wants more and more and more. I am too hard on myself, so I'm working on that. But I do want a better basketball season. I only averaged like 6 points and like 4 rebounds. That wasn't good enough for me. I know I have better potential, so
Okay.
I want to get better. I want to lose more weight. I want to lose 20 more pounds, so I weigh around 160, hopefully. And
And you're trying to get a degree in what?
yes, I'm trying to get a degree in sports psychology. I want to be a sports psychologist, so I want to help people with injuries. I want to help them mentally because your mental health is way far more important than anything else because your mental health is what's going to get you into your other health, your physical health, yeah.
It seems like all the stuff that you went through is going to help you a lot with that.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? I am not mad that my dad is taken away. I'm not mad that I didn't have my best season. I'm not mad. I'm not upset at all. I'm more thankful because one thing I did learn while I was working on my relationship with God is that He really does. I'm a believer in everything happens for a reason. And I just really believe that a lot of this stuff has happened for a reason because I've come so far. I used to be a troubled girl that came from poverty, that just played sports, that didn't care about anything, that just went to school to get a degree, to go be somebody. But then I realized that, yeah, I want to be somebody, but I want to be that extraordinary somebody. So,
Well, I think you are well on your way, and I appreciate you sharing
Working on
your good news. Thank you.
No